This is going to be our geekiest episode ever. And we've had some geeky ones, but it's going to get really deeply geeky because both of us are incredibly turned on by this 1993 Mercedes-Benz 190D.
Nick's 190D is the last year of Mercedes' first ever compact car. But rather than being compact as in less than, the 190 is the eau de parfum of Mercedes, a concentrated compact shot of everything that defined the brand. This is the first in a series of new-look Mercedes designed by the great Bruno Sacco that would dominate the roads in the 80s and 90s with the best-built, best-engineered luxury cars the world had ever seen. And they were incredibly expensive, so driving one meant that one way or another, you'd made it. They were built to last, and Mercedes built many millions of them. So excepting the rarer variants like the Porsche-engineered 500e, these cars are cheap, while offering daily driver reliability and manageable service costs. My 94 SL320 is worth $15,000 on a good day, and has cost me less than $1,000 in maintenance annually over the past 15 years. The legend of the 190 today is outsized as well. Definitely check out the Mindy 190 video in the link above for a good laugh. So now let's dive into Nick's 190.
There's just something about these cars that just like drive me bonkers.
So for me, you know, I've talked about it many times on the channel that I'm kind of in a place where I don't really fawn after new cars anymore.
Right.
And the cars that I really grew up, yearning for were the E30M, or the E30, in general, the
Right.
BMW. I had the E30 M3. And then the other was obviously 190. In a perfect world, it would be a 190 Evo, but those are now $250,000 and they're a little bit out of my price range. I also grew up like loving hip hop, and like in every rap video in the early 90s, like Nas had one and Biggie had one, and I was just like, that's the car.
A 190?
Hell yeah. It was a huge like...
Biggie had a 190?
Oh yeah, so did Nas.
This is the final year of the 190.
So just to be clear, this is a 93. This is final year. It is a inline 4-cylinder 2-liter diesel that makes 71 horsepower. Yes, you heard that right. 71 horsepower. Floored it.
The fury of this thing.
I mean, it's abysmally slow.
But it feels so good, right?
Yeah. It's, if it just had another 100 horsepower, it'd be really, really good and really, really capable.
So who the hell ordered this car? I mean, 2-liter non-turbo with a trailer hook and the 4-speed manual. Gotta love it. Somebody very agriculturally inclined, but it's so clean in here. Like,
the car's perfect. I mean, it's at least the interior is as close to flawless as you can get on a almost, what is that, 30-year-old? Oh yeah, this year's 30.
Yeah, it's in
interior.
better shape than my SL, I'll tell you that much. I mean, mine's in really good shape, but this is pristine. These cars came with a whole range of power plants. Not only, of course, in the U.S. there was the 190E, and then there was the 2.3. There was a 2.316.
2.316 valve, yeah.
There was a 2.5, right? There's 2.6. There's a 2.6, which was a 6-cylinder. 2.6, and then we can't, of course, forget all the high performance, the Evolution and the Evolution 2 models that are just these legendary cars now, very, very valuable, that were part of the homologation process to compete in the DTM German racing series.
Mm-hmm.
And those cars are incredible. And it makes you wonder what this car would feel like with another 200 horsepower.
Well, that's the thing, is I think it would be perfect.
It sounds so good, and it feels so good, and it
Doesn't
feels
it sound good for such a small little baby motor?
It feels just so. It kind of sings. It just feels so solid and stable. There are no creaks, no rattles.
No, it's
nothing
it's
going
built
on.
very well.
It's built like a bank vault.
I know. For an entry model car that's 30 years old, It's a testament to Mercedes.
And these seats, the fabric seats, just make it that much more
and this
like perfectly Euro.
The checkerboard pattern is like really beautiful. Like, it's kind of hard to explain. It feels faster than a car that has 70 horsepower. It doesn't, I obviously haven't gone up like a huge hill or anything like that.
Well, the thing is, the car never feels like it's straining.
No, it doesn't actually.
The car never feels like it's, and the suspension is just absolutely incredible. The way it's soaking up these bumps.
And it's funny. Suspension-wise, compared to like a compact car of today, this feels like S-classy of its time.
These cars are just, apart from the fact that they're just like an incredible value. I mean, $20,000. I'd like to think it's worth $30,000.
Yours?
Yeah. I mean, this one has actually been in my family from the beginning. And it's a 320, and as I said, it actually makes your 190D feel, this feels quick compared to your 190D.
I love the color of yours.
It's good. This is spruce green. I believe that yours is...
sexy white.
Yours is Arctic white, I believe.
I actually have no idea.
Arctic white. But these cars are just, they are just incredibly solid. I don't really drive mine that much. It always starts up, like the heat works, the cruise works. Every now and then it does something expensive, but when I say every now and then, I mean like every 5 years or something like that.
And when you say expensive, give me an example.
Well, on these you gotta do like a timing chain thing. So if you do the timing chain, I think it's like, depending on where you go, it's like $3,500, something like that.
Okay.
Like the valve gaskets and stuff like that. But again, it's not, actually the really expensive thing about the R129, and I think it's only for the ones that are like 80, I want to say it's like mine's a 94. I think it's like the tail end, like the 9234, is the wiring harness.
Okay.
Mercedes decided that they would be eco-friendly and they would use biodegradable materials in the wiring harness. So the wiring harnesses will eventually sort of disintegrate and they have to be replaced. And I think that's sort of, and I think in every classic car, there's like this turning point where buyers decide, where the owner decides, okay, am I in? Am I out?
Right.
And I think with the R129, the wiring harness is definitely one of those in or out, because there was a point where replacing the wiring harness would cost more than the value of the car itself.
Right.
My turn. Hang on. Oh, there we go. That's first. That was third. And she will not pull away in third.
No.
Surprise.
No. I don't think it would pull away in second.
The steering is just like so thick and solid.
I know.
The car just feels just like...
substantial.
Yeah.
For a 30-year-old car, that was a base model car. Feels so well put together.
I have to have one.
This could be yours.
We could swap. You want an SL? You only sell it.
No, that one's green. I like that.
We do have a thing for green cars, don't we?
I love green.
Much of the suspension on this car, in terms of the setup, made its way into the E-Class, that's my understanding.
I think, from what I understand, that is also, yes, I think you're right, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this ended up being like the test mule guinea pig component car for a lot of their higher end models later down the line.
I mean, all the switches, like all this stuff is just like, it's just, it's Mercedes. It's not like entry-level compact car.
Yeah.
Although this was their entry-level compact car. I mean, she's not going to be winning any races.
No.
I mean, it's such a pleasurable thing to operate. I mean, that's one of the things I love about my SL, is that just the weight of the switches, the weight of the indicator switches, the steering, just all these little controls, is everything from a tactile standpoint is just really pleasant to interact with.
Yeah.
And it just feels, everywhere you look and everywhere you put your hand, it feels like, an engineer was thinking, oh, this is something that somebody is going to be using for the next 5 or 10 years, because
Yeah.
these cars were built in an era where many people
Kept their
kept their
cars, yeah.
car for 20 years. It wasn't this sort of
3 years
2 year,
now.
3 year,
Yeah.
4 year lease cycle. And they actually really cared about the longevity of the materials and the longevity of the, I guess, the experience itself being, rewarding over a long period of time.
Right. So, Joe,
Yes.
what do you think of my 190 diesel?
Want.
You kind of quacked like a duck there.
Want.
Well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. It's not going to be an exhilarating video because, again, the car has 71 horsepower.
It's an exhilarating video, Nick. It's exhilarating.
But
Gripping.
we hope that we
Enthralling.
transported you to 1993. A
Big
2-liter diesel making 71 horsepower with just checker blue interior, 4-speed. Ooh, Mamma Mia.
It's delicious.
Mamma Mia is German, by the way. Okay, like and subscribe.
Thanks, everybody.
Peace.
We will be back.